Hello Ragers, I hope that you're all doing well. Now, Pack was easily one of the most important fashion-oriented channels on YouTube. The combination of authentic, on-screen personalities and creative concepts, all with a higher production value than traditional YouTube content at the time, really served as a great formula for success. From the perspective of a fan on the outside looking in, everything seemed to be going really well. However, that was obviously not the case. There was lots of behind-the-scenes drama that us viewers were not aware of. Hence, today we'll be taking a look back at Pack. We'll be reminiscing on what worked, figuring out why the series ended so abruptly, exploring what everyone is up to now, and seeing if there's any validity to the Pack reunion rumors. First and foremost, I'll catch you all up to speed on the immense lore. Basically, KYRA TV was the network or company that initially funded Pack. Founded in 2017 in London, England, KYRA served as a digital entertainment company that started out very bold. Their ethos at the time was centered around recreating TV for the YouTube generation. As a young company that was very tapped in with the youth, they saw the potential in creating series for platforms like YouTube, hence the creation of Pack. As explained in a recent interview with My Come Up, Shaq, a key member of Pack, explained that KYRA contacted him, I believe in late 2016, about starting some sort of digital series. He was put in a focus group with Elias, a close friend of his who would also later serve as a member of Pack, and they were both asked to come up with an idea for a series. At the same time, another group was being held with Danny and Dex, again, both future members of Pack, and they were also tasked with the same thing. Shaq was in uni at the time for art and also had an interest in fashion. He pitched the idea that they should all be given a set budget and see who can come up with the best outfit. They all seemed in agreement that this idea would work best, which served as the basis for the beginning of the series. But they still needed a name. Shaq explained that they didn't want to do something basic like call themselves the Squad or Gang or whatever, and that Dex was the one to come up with the name Pack. Pack is basically like pack, like a pack of wolves, but it's just spelled P-A-Q, like pack instead. Pretty groundbreaking stuff. Anyway, although the boys all had different perspectives on things, this actually worked in their favor. Their on-screen chemistry was great, and it seemed like they all had the creative freedom to do pretty much whatever they wanted. They all put a part of themselves into Pack, which helped give it an authentic feeling right from the start. The series was pretty much an instant hit. Thanks in part to the financial backing and funding from KYRA, they had quite a leg up on the competition, given that the majority of other YouTubers at the time did not have the same level of production value for their videos, and it helped too that they just kept posting banger after banger and quickly garnered a cult following. They were able to obtain partnerships with lucrative brands and companies like Foot Locker, Adidas, Ralph Lauren, Reebok, and many others. They also collabed with a variety of notable YouTubers and influencers, and were able to put on events and bring the fashion community together with competitions like the Best Dressed YouTuber. I really don't know how Blazendary didn't win. Point being, no one was really doing it like them. They had the YouTube fashion scene in a chokehold from 2017 up until 2020. However, us viewers were blissfully ignorant of all the behind-the-scenes drama. The last upload we would see on any of the Pack socials came in March of 2020. Shaq has revealed that there are a lot of creative differences with regard to how things should be run. KYRA TV was a young company. People on the business side of things who were previously inexperienced with being in positions of power let it get to their heads and didn't really know what to do with this found success. Egos were very high within the company, and the creative freedom that the boys had at the start of the series began to dwindle. Pack quickly turned into a machine churning out weekly episodes. No longer was it a labor of love. Shaq admitted that he wanted to quit around sometime in 2018, as he knew if they started doing weekly episodes then they would quickly burn out. It is evident that all the members began feeling a similar sentiment as a result of the heavy workload, and that's not even mentioning the shitty work environment that they were dealing with. It's very clear that this was all about the money to the company. Shaq explained that KYRA told them that the Pack formula was going to be exclusive to the boys, but as soon as it started to gain success, they tried to manufacture another version of Pack through the likes of Neva, a group of LA girls sent to London to do basically the same thing. They too experienced very similar problems and ended pretty much exactly the same, but during the BLM movement in the summer of 2020, a lot of people spoke out against the KYRA TV staff and shared their experiences. Pack and Neva did an IG live after they got out of their contracts where they exposed everything. Unfortunately, the VOD of the stream has since been deleted. I found it on the Wayback Machine, but it wasn't working there either, but I'll still link it below in case anyone wanted to take a look. Thankfully, this was covered by Vice, who restated quotes from various victims of KYRA TV. Fans believe that KYRA exploited and profited off of British BIPOC youth culture, and then refused to invest in the talent that gave them a name. A former Neva director echoed that sentiment too, stating that they definitely commodify black culture. Maybe they don't know that they're doing it, maybe it's subconscious, but it's done. Claire, a former KYRA presenter, believes that KYRA is full of culture vultures too, and has allegedly overheard some pretty troubling stuff from a casting director. KYRA TV weren't the ones to end Pack, the boys ultimately were. There are stipulations and complications with contracts, and with COVID going on, it was all very confusing and difficult for them, but they were able to pull through. Things were looking pretty grim though, and times were certainly rough. Thankfully, at least, the cult following that the Pack Boys had garnered meant that fan sentiment was very in favor of the on-screen presenters, and although everyone went their own separate ways and focused on their own individual creative ventures, a lot of the Pack enthusiasts stayed loyal to the boys. Since the end of the Pack channel, Elias has gone on to continue working with a variety of different companies and brands, as well as even launching his own creative venture with his fashion and film endeavor, Iter Mora, in 2022. Which seems to have been very well received by his followers, and Danny even commented, so that's always good to see. Danny himself has also continued to work alongside a bunch of different brands and continue modeling. He has also started his own podcast, and it's at 53 episodes so far and has quite a few interesting guests and segments. He has had Dex on the podcast in the past, where they did tease a little Pack reunion on TikTok and Instagram, but nothing has really come from that yet. And with regard to Dex, he's been mostly working on his music, it seems, and remaining pretty low-key for the time being. Shaq himself has been focusing on his art and seemingly doing really well for himself career-wise. Between his paintings, poetry, and collaborations, he's been able to achieve and maintain a pretty solid level of success, which is really great to see. Considering how much he put into Pack, it's very evident that although things didn't really work out with KYRA TV, he didn't give up, and he turned all those negatives into positives through going even harder. But Shaq has revealed that they all stay in touch for the most part. Shaq and Danny have both teased a potential Pack reunion a few times, with Shaq recently stating that he feels as if he owes it to the fans. Of course, they'd want to do it their own way this time, obviously without the aid of KYRA TV. And speaking on that, KYRA TV has pretty much rebranded. They're now described as a global creator economy bridging the gap between brands and TikTok creators. We are a team of creators at our core, producing best-in-class social content for Gen Z while accelerating a world for creators to do the same with ease. Oh, brother. They go on to say how they reach over 13 million viewers monthly across their different accounts and highlight the creators and brands that they've worked with. And get this, they go on to say, KYRA has fostered a dynamic work environment, creating a culture for a diverse and creative team with innovative ideas driving the business and creator economy forward into the future. It's very evident that they don't want people to remember the whole Pack Neva incident. Surely they're a much more healthy and diverse work environment now, guys. Just forget about all that stuff that happened 2 years ago. But apparently they have gained over $22 million in funding and have quite a few investors. I find shit like this so cringe. Something about the corporate nature of hip and cool startups like this that basically exist to farm Gen Z attention spans and commodify audiences only to sell it to investors. It's literally just so soulless. It's all a business to them, obviously. But oh well, game is game. Surely the KYRA TV platform will be the next big thing. Anyway, it's very clear that Pack was such an essential part of the fashion scene on YouTube, and things really haven't felt the same since. No one has been able to fill the void that they left. Although situations like this highlight just how messed up things can be when corporations get involved, and when creative ventures suffer as a result of profit-oriented businesses, Pack was a great series that ended up suffering because of out-of-touch corpo rats who thought they knew how to run the creative side of things. And there's obviously a reason that the Pack Boys were on screen and not some random businessmen. Sure, backing from a company like KYRA allowed for Pack to exist in the first place, and I'm sure it opened a lot of doors for them with regard to partnerships and sponsors, but at what cost? The whole situation highlights the discrepancy between the business and creative side of things. Basically, what happens when creative talents are restricted by their corporate overlords. It would be cool to see a Pack reunion if everyone was on board, since it would come from a much more genuine and authentic place, but I'm very curious as to how they would even do it. A lot has changed since they've been gone, and sure, a classic $50 outfit challenge would be nice for nostalgia's sake, but they would certainly have to evolve if they wanted to start regularly creating content again. I wouldn't get my hopes up for a series revival, but if they came back for like one big special extravaganza, that would be pretty cool. Anyway, I'm glad the Pack Boys seem to be doing well after all that, and I think that's more or less it. I'm sorry if I left anything out, and let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching, and later, Ragers.